Hello, my name's Galena. I'm the fiancé of Lee McCollister, who was murdered on July 8th by Deunn Willis and robbed by Danielle Durand. You know, the instigator broke 5 of Josh's ribs on January 25th. And not only was he not held accountable for it, but he twisted it so that people felt sorry for him because he was being lied about that he broke Josh's ribs. You know, the last video about that I posted, you know, one of Josh's friends, I asked her, did he have broken ribs or not? And, you know, she responded in a heartbeat, yeah, he did have broken ribs. But that's just how charismatic the instigator was. I mean, he could talk his way out of anything. Another way that he decided he was going to make Josh's broken ribs work for him is he said that during the fight, I told my little boy something to the effect of, don't worry, Uncle Josh is going to make the instigator go away forever. But essentially, I told my little boy that Josh was going to murder the instigator now. That's an attempted murder charge, is what he was getting at. And I was scared. I was really scared. Even though I knew Josh had a tape of the fight, I was still scared because the enabler was using all that influence. I couldn't believe the things that the instigator never would have gotten away with on his own, but she was backing him. I was so scared of her, what she was going to do. It seemed like she would not stop at anything to get that precious, precious thing that she wanted from me, which was not hers. I didn't know if some kind of bogus attempted murder charge was something that we were going to have to worry about, because it really seemed for months that was the direction this was all going in. And I was glad that Josh had that tape backed up. That, you know, it wasn't just like one copy of it, but still, I was scared. And I told him that, you know, it's not just that I want you out of Mendocino County. I want you out of the state. Because I was that scared that if this was going to wind up with us either dead, some crackhead that we didn't know was going to attack us because these people were just coming at us, or somebody was going to go to jail for something they didn't do. So I decided I was going to have to make peace with the instigator. Like, all the coercion, all the pressure, it worked. When Josh was gone, it worked. I did what I had to do. Because I knew one thing, I could not let, after the violence he'd endured, I could not risk Josh getting arrested for something he didn't do. And I was afraid if they arrested both of us at the same time on an attempted murder charge, there was just like, I would not be able to help him And because he was autistic, he could not advocate for himself. When he could actually, when he was talking, he could be his own worst enemy. I did what I had to do. And he promised me, the instigator promised me, that he would acknowledge that he'd lied, he'd write out a notarized statement. And I knew if I had that, him acknowledging that he'd lied, Josh would be safe. He never did do a notarized statement, but he did do a videotaped statement. He admitted that he lied. He admitted he was on meth during that fight. He admitted it. And I knew that after he admitted he was lying about this incident, that a stupid, bogus attempted murder charge was not ever going to fly. You know, it'd be easy to just show this to law enforcement, you know, put it on YouTube, whatever. We were safe now from that bogus charge. And this was, I think about 4 days before Josh died, and he did that recording. And he panicked right afterwards. You know, I sent it out immediately to multiple friends of mine, so there was like, even if he stomped on my phone, it wouldn't matter. The information was out there. He panicked that I was going to send it to Josh. Because if Josh had seen that video, he would have known that he was going to be safe from that attempted murder charge. That the instigator and the enabler had cooked up, because the enabler was involved in this. Like, she knew that whole thing, me saying to my little boy that Uncle Josh was going to make the instigator go away forever, she knew it wasn't true, because she wasn't dumb. The door was closed. And there was a rain machine on, and a fight going on in the next room. How was the instigator possibly going to hear what I said to my little boy? I mean, it was just ridiculously fake. But still, even though she knew that this was a fake charge, she went along with it. She was not just willing to overlook the violence here. She was down for someone going to prison, 2 people going to prison for something they didn't do. But 4 days before, Josh was killed, I finally got that tape. And I said to myself, okay, what am I going to do now? I think I'm going to run away to Humboldt County. I was thinking of things that I'd never thought of doing before, like, I'm going to sleep on the sidewalks. I'm going to sleep in ditches or whatever. But it would have been okay. I knew it was going to be okay because I was going to be back with the man I loved, and he didn't know that I was planning to come up there. So either I was planning to come up there, or I was going to hide him down here. I was even thinking maybe I can't do it. Maybe if I hide him well enough, they won't manage to kill him. Or maybe I will just go. It's like the instigator said, that if I wanted to be with Josh McCollister, I was going to have to sleep in the street and give everything up. I was ready to give it up. for him. And then he was dead. And all of my efforts to keep him safe, they were just gone. I often think that we loved each other like the gift of the Magi. I was doing everything I could think of to keep him safe. He was doing everything he could think of to keep me safe, and we both failed because we were apart. The last 6 months of his life, there was so much violence, so much cruelty. That's the part about him dying that I think it hurts possibly the most, that he just, that they decided they were going to break him. And to such a great degree they did. They decided they were going to break me, and to such a great degree they did. And I don't understand how so many people could back up the behavior that they did. That they still, there's so many people that still have not apologized. You know, there were 20 family houses, I think, at the plateau where we lived. And the instigator told me that all these people were watching me and reporting back to him about me, about Josh. 4 houses giving him information. Not one person, and I do know their names, has apologized yet. You know, there were people that contacted me on Facebook because they were so concerned, right? And I thought that they were concerned because, you know, when you're autistic, you're so gullible so much of the time. You know, me and Josh, we were both such gullible people. I used to say to him, don't ever tell people how gullible I am, because it's really embarrassing. Anybody can fool me. People that pretended that they cared about me or were my friend, they were just getting information for him, for the instigator. And I know this because he threw it in my face. He threw it in my face that they were actually getting information for him. And this went on, and the more all these people did these little things for him, while I was just trying to get away, and while Josh was just trying to get away, the bolder he got. The more there was violence, the more there was coercion. You can't imagine what it's like to see someone break the ribs of someone you love and use that to their advantage, and then say, you know, it's not just that I put you in horrific pain for months. How about I see if I can use this somehow to send you to prison? And it wasn't because the instigator loved me or anything like that. He just needed control that bad. And if he didn't get control, there was nothing that he was going to not do to us. And we both felt all the time so incredibly trapped. So incredibly trapped.